A local dog group walk is returning to West Bloomfield. Good Choices Dog Training and Services is running an adventure group program throughout May and June of 2025. Sessions are held at various parks and locations within Greater West Bloomfield, including Bloomer Park, West Bloomfield Woods Nature Preserve, and the West Bloomfield Recreation Activity Center, as well as nearby areas like Novi and Farmington Hills. Here to tell us more about the program is the owner of Good Choices Dog Training, Elaine Chan-Whitlow. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi. Yeah.
Really happy to have you with us and really excited to be talking about this because I know everybody's looking to get outside again, looking to hit the dog parks with their best friends. How does utilizing these local environments enhance the training experience for dogs and their owners?
I think a lot of times people train their dog in a facility or in a controlled environment. And what happens is that sometimes the dogs are able to excel doing behaviors or command in a controlled environment. But when they go to a real life scenario, for example, outside in a nature trail in a park, the dog begin to struggle because dogs do not generalize behavior the same way as people do. So because of those struggles, I came up with the idea that, hey, why not actually train and also have some session to help dog owner practice what they learn in the classes in an environment that is actually real life, whereas places that the dog might actually struggle a little bit more. But the idea is that we're going to have people, myself, trainer, and other assistants there to help these dogs to become more successful, adapting to the environment and also learning the command and helping them practice the command so that they can strengthen the skill that they learn.
That's fantastic, and that's such a great thing that you're doing, and I'm really happy that you just touched on something like that, because over the years of serving the Greater West Bloomfield community, what are some of the most common training challenges you've observed among local dog owners, and how has your adventure group adapted to address these evolving needs?
Sometimes I think one of the things that I notice is that the dog, people might think they've been socialized well, but then the dog actually are not. So number one thing, I feel that sometimes the dog might be reacting to just normal random things like other dogs being around or having bicycle or people just walking by in the park. So that's one of the main things that the adventure group focus on, is that we also help the dog socialize around other dogs and people, number one. The other skill that I do see that they're struggling the most is usually leash walking, walking, just having the leash manner in general when, dog and owner walking in public situation. Because like I said, in a controlled environment, the dogs are fine. But when there's also like squirrels and birds and other kids and other people walking in strollers and stuff, the dog is pulling or not listening or having a hard time just focusing in general, which is a big deal, because if the dog is not focusing on the handler, that can become a big issue as far as listening. And I think the other thing is that the owners are also learning etiquette, owner etiquette, like when they're in public, if people wanted to come and pet their dog or kids want to come and say hi to the dog, how should we address something like that while they're training and helping their dog become more successful?
Absolutely. Lots of great things to gain from being a part of something like this. And you just said that the dog owners can learn this sense of etiquette when it comes to managing their pets. How do you see the adventure group fostering a sense of community among dog owners in West Bloomfield? And what benefits do participants gain from connecting with other local dog lovers?
One of the things that I noticed that sometimes people that come to my group, some of them already know each other, which is kind of interesting because I think it's a small community. And I like to do it because sometimes I get to connect with students or dogs that I've trained in the past. And when I have these like drop-in group, it's one of the opportunity for me to see them again. But sometimes I also like promoting other local businesses. For example, I partner with the Premier Pet Supply store. Sometimes they give me like, some samples or coupons to pass out in my group, which are also helping other local businesses. And I also like when we come together, sometimes I can refer the people that are looking for like pet sitter or maybe like dog walker among our group, which is also really nice too. So I can pass on some of the names and people that are in the community to kind of like keep everything local, like if somebody asking for a dog walker, we have somebody in our group that actually does that. And a bunch of the people that do come, they're also members of the West Bloomfield Dog Park. So they are already kind of friends. So it's kind of nice to see that they can all come together and enjoy the adventure group together.
Oh, that is amazing. I love hearing that. Everybody helping each other out with their pet needs and making sure that all of the dogs are happy and healthy. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we're talking with Elaine Chan-Whitlow, the owner of Good Choices Dog Training, talking about the Adventure Group program that's going to be taking place throughout May and June of 2025 at various parks located in Greater West Bloomfield. And Elaine, what is the philosophy behind offering free sessions like the one that's going to be taking place at the West Bloomfield Woods Nature Preserve? How do you hope these introductory sessions benefit the local dog owning community?
I just want to increase more people being aware of what I'm offering and just kind of coming out to check it out, because sometimes they don't really know how I do things or how I train and how the group is run. Once they get to kind of sample it a little bit, though that was almost like a free sample session, then they will be more willing to commit or join. But the good thing is that with the adventure group, it is quite flexible, so people can kind of just come to one session and then just drop in as they need it. They need to reserve, ahead of time. Let me know they're coming. And if there's also, weather happening, we do postpone it or reschedule it. So we're not gonna, host it on a rainy day. But the good thing is that they can sample it. They can kind of see how I train, how I, handle the dogs, and then really making sure that everybody having a good experience and a fun experience. I think the fun is really where I would want to highlight.
Absolutely. Plenty of fun to be had with this Adventure Group series. Now, Elaine, you touched on this just a little bit ago, but I'd imagine putting something together like this, I mean, you can absolutely do it alone, but you've gotten a lot of help from local businesses and local organizations throughout Greater West Bloomfield. Are there any collaborations within Greater West Bloomfield to promote responsible dog ownership and your training services that you've established?
At this point, it's just mostly myself. I do think about returning back to maybe working with the recreation center a little bit more. But I said, having the local pet store and some of the local pet training businesses, or even like dog walk or pet sitting businesses helping would be nice. I think it's just, more people out there promoting the, safe ownership, safe, owner handling the dog would be actually a good idea.
Absolutely right. Elaine, just a couple more quick questions before we let you go. Looking ahead to the summer months in Greater West Bloomfield, what are some crucial safety and well-being tips you'd like to share with local pet owners to ensure their dogs stay happy and healthy during this warmer weather?
One thing that's most important is making sure that they stay hydrated. So it's always really important to pack water. Sometimes I even tell people to put water in a thermos container water bottle so that it's colder for them to be able to drink. Really watch out to learn about how the dog may be suffering or experiencing heat stroke, learning the signs. And usually if weather is over 75 or even 80, depending on your dog's breed and their age and size and physical physique, you may not want to walk them or choose a time that is cooler if you really have to exercise them, maybe like at evening time or early morning, and avoiding the time that are direct sunlight. Check the pavement, making sure the pavement is not too hot. Sometimes I also recommend putting paw balms on their paw if they're walking on, more warmer pavement. Those are really important. Sometimes, also take a break. If you see the dog is panting a lot, take a break, rest, pull them aside, shade, give them water, making sure. Sometimes I even give my adventure group, I even brought cooling towel for everybody if it was a little bit warmer. And if you go into places that are more wooded or, had like trees and things, or not like just regular walking trail, make sure they have bug repellents, the dogs are flea and tick preventative, because ticks are one of the issues that we are still dealing with. So be aware of that. You want to get the dog, have bug spray ahead of time, or wear a t-shirt, and then making sure that when you go home, take the shirts off, the owner immediately change in their clothes, throw the clothes in the washer, things like that. Check their feet, run your hand around their whole body, making sure there's no little ticks or little buggy, jumping onto them. Because as long as you can check the body before the ticks latch onto the dog, the chances of the tick feeding on the pet are less. So the tick may get on the body, but it doesn't start feeding onto the dog, which is where you kind of worry, because that's how the disease, can be transmitted. So just make sure that you run your hands through all their, skin and coat between their toe, the paw pad, under the paw, ears, of the groin area, things like that. And just make sure that we take prevention to make sure they don't get overheated, they don't get heat stroke, and they don't get parasites and bugs.
Wow, you have thought of everything. Lots of very important details for everyone to keep in mind in keeping their dogs safe for this summer season. Elaine, real quickly, last question. Are there any new programs or initiatives you envision offering to local dog owners in the future?
Right now, one of the other really popular service that I offer is also day camp training, which is me taking the dog for the day and having them, socialize, exercise them for the day, and train them for obedience. So I have, several, many clients in the West Bloomfield area are enjoying that. So that's one of the things that I really enjoy doing in the summer as well, being able to provide that. And some of the adventure group, we also travel to like other places, like such as like eating at a restaurant and things like that. So that would also be good to to like also almost like you're saying, like helping other local businesses enjoying the time. So those are but Adventure Group is one of my most exciting programs that I brought back. I think this is my 7th year doing it. So that's kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what's to come throughout the rest of the summer months as everybody gets outside and enjoys the weather with their pets. Elaine, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you for having me.